I do not intend to detain your car. I merely find it essential for us to meet, and you must also meet me. Here are the keys and the paperwork. Chen Xiao accepted the items and handed them to his bodyguard. What is your relationship with Wang Ju? Wang Ju? Consider him my worthless brother, Wang Tian remarked. Chen Xiao responded, what? Are you trying to defend your brother? I am myself, and he is he. I have no intention of defending him. Chen Xiao found it perplexing. If he didn't wish to defend Wang Ju, what was the intention behind his words? Mr. Chen, may we converse over here? Wang Tian invited. The bodyguards from both sides maintained a respectful distance of 5 meters, their eyes locked in a tense standoff. What would you like to discuss? Wang Tian inquired. It's simple. I will take over the Wang family, and we shall settle our grievances. Chen Xiao was taken aback. Was this a negotiation? All right. Wang Tian nodded, but added. There is one condition. I knew it, Chen Xiao retorted. What is the condition? Wang Tian stated, spare Wang Ju. Chen Xiao smirked. Your brother attempted to have me assassinated. That's out of the question. Wang Tian sighed. Ultimately, we cannot evade the points of contention. Chen Xiao questioned. Did you not say you wouldn't defend Wang Ju? Wang Tian replied. Indeed, but Wang Ju currently symbolizes the dignity of the Wang family. I can strip him of all power, yet I cannot allow harm to befall him. Chen Xiao stood up, declaring, then there is nothing to discuss. No, there is something to discuss. You could choose to overlook the past. Ha ha, I'm not that magnanimous. Chen Xiao replied. I believe you are, Wang Tian stated calmly. Chen Xiao halted, and they gazed intensely into each other's eyes for a full minute. Chen Xiao broke the silence. Wang Ju is about to be incarcerated. Wang Tian subtly shook his head. He will not be incarcerated. Chen Xiao frowned. Wang Tian added, do you doubt me? You may inquire with your people. A sense of foreboding washed over Chen Xiao. He quickly pulled out his phone and sent a WeChat message to Zhong. What is the progress? Shortly after, he received a reply. Boss, Huang Fuhong has recanted his statement. Most of the previously collected evidence is now invalid. Chen Xiao stared at the message, his expression unreadable, but turmoil brewed within. Wang Tian was not comparable to Wang Ju. Huang Fuhong was far away in Canada and could still retract his statement. This indicated that Wang Tian possessed extraordinary power overseas. The company in question may not merely have a contractual relationship with him. What now? Are you feeling magnanimous? Wang Tian queried. Are you threatening me? Chen Zhao's countenance darkened. Wang Tian chuckled. If you insist on interpreting it that way, you're not entirely incorrect. Chen Xiao turned away, declaring that Wang Ju's fate would remain unchanged, and urged his men to check the car for any hidden explosives. As he departed, Wang Tian took a puff from his cigar, his mind swirling with thoughts, his eyes behind his sunglasses growing colder. On the way back, Chen Xiao pondered deeply. The power Wang Tian wielded appeared far superior to that of Wang Ju. After a moment of contemplation, he called in Zhong. Hello, do we have any intel on international security groups overseas and their connection to Wang Tian? Yes, we have a basic understanding of the major mercenary groups. Wang Tian is the vice president of an international security group. Chen Xiao was taken aback. That individual possesses remarkable abilities, and Zhong remarked. Not necessarily, as he has wed the daughter of the Anbao Group's esteemed Arthur. Chen Xiao exclaimed, goodness, a son-in-law by marriage? Well, one could interpret it that way. The company only assigns him to oversee operations in Huagua, and Wang Tian has only recently returned to the country. Chen Xiao was at a loss for words. Anyone with common sense knew that Huagua was a forbidden territory for mercenaries across the globe. Assigning him to manage Huagua's affairs was tantamount to having no business at all. All right, I understand. Focus on investigating international security firms and Wang Tian himself. Understood, boss. And do take precautions. Increase investments in overseas branches. Got it. Upon hanging up, Chen Xiao couldn't help but chuckle. Damn, I was nearly intimidated by a man living off someone else's fortune. Wang Tian had just returned, and while he might have connections, he likely didn't grasp Chen Zhao's work style. Gazing out of the car window as the scenery flew past, Chen Xiao murmured to himself, since you insist on stirring the waters, why not let it unleash a colossal wave? Chapter 332. Both options are unsuitable. Wang Tian's actions were swift, but soon became conspicuous. Upon returning to the office, Chen Xiao was greeted by a group of unruly rascals sprawled across the courtyard. Their flashy attire in stark contrast to the worn-out sneakers littering the ground, and several individuals had faded tattoos. Dozens of vans were parked along the roadside. Lowering his window, he inquired, what is the meaning of this? The mountain cat replied, we're not certain. They're acting like a bunch of fools, ready to storm the office building. Chen Xiao responded, find out. All right, the mountain cat said, striding over to a blond youth, placing his work boots firmly on the boy's hand and grinding down with force. What on earth are you doing here? Do you not realize where you are? Ah, it hurts, brother. Please lift your foot. The mountain cat, instead of relenting, applied more pressure. The blonde's left hand painfully scraped against the concrete, and he could almost hear the sound of his bones fracturing. Ah, I'll talk. I'll tell you everything. Only then did the mountain cat ease his grip slightly, though he still kept his foot firmly planted. Speak. Where are you from? What is your purpose? Who sent you? From Modu. Our aim is to vandalize Tung Shao capital. We were instructed by our boss. The mountain cat was about to press further, but Chun Shao waved his hand. Your boss is Wang Tian, correct? The blonde paused in surprise, yes. Chun Shao smiled faintly. This incident had unexpectedly lightened his burden. Initially, he had thought Wang Tian to be formidable, but now it seemed he was merely ordinary. Dispose of these individuals. Yes. The blonde nearly fainted with fear, believing Chun Shao intended to silence him permanently, and he repeatedly bowed his head in supplication. Back in the office, Chun Shao couldn't be bothered to inquire how Thunder handled matters. These were mere small fry, and their fate mattered little. Thunder was far more adept at this than he was. After pondering for a moment, Chun Shao picked up the phone and dialed Zhong. Hello, Zhong. Make the evidence of Wang Ju's crimes public. Boss, most reputable media outlets may hesitate to publish news regarding the Wang family. Oh, is there any way to ensure this matter receives widespread attention? Indeed. However, it requires a pivotal figure. Who? Chun Shao inquired. Boss, do you recall Wang Jiankai, the subordinate who managed public opinion under Shi Zhongfu? Chun Shao pondered for a moment and replied, yes, isn't he incarcerated? Indeed, although he's behind bars, his wife, Tong Yu, has taken over his channels. This woman controls the operations of numerous gray websites. If we can secure her assistance, our endeavor will be successful. Chun Shao remarked. One must never underestimate anyone. Even someone like Tong, you can play a pivotal role at a crucial moment. Let us have a conversation with her. Absolutely, boss. After ending the call, Chun Shao reviewed the day's performance. The stock price of Atlantic Capital Group continued to soar. Acquiring a plot of land in the Bund of Magic City significantly enhanced the company's reputation. Investors held a very optimistic view of this enterprise, prompting a flurry of purchases that further inflated the stock price. However, some conservative institutions believed that Atlantic Capital Group's debt ratio was excessively high, posing considerable risk, and thus began to sell off their shares. This prevented the stock price from becoming excessively inflated, maintaining a relatively steady upward trend. Just before the end of the day, Zhong called. Hello, boss. Tong Yu has expressed a desire to meet with you for a face-to-face discussion. Oh, she wishes to meet me? Chun Shao contemplated and said, bring the company along. Tong Yu suggested meeting on her territory. Chun Shao furrowed his brow slightly. On her territory? What is her intention? Boss, I can decline her request and seek alternative methods. No need, Chun Shao asserted. If I refuse, it would appear that I am intimidated. I will go to her territory and see what she truly intends. All right, please ensure your safety. After hanging up, Chun Shao instructed, Yin Yin, have Lei Tang gather a few capable hands. We are heading out. Understood. Lei Yong, possessing remarkable managerial skills, now seldom handled specific security duties, dedicating most of his time to managing the Black Shield security group. Thus, Lei Tang had assumed the role akin to that of Chun Zhao's personal guard captain. As for Shi Dun, unless it was a special occasion, he was allowed to attend classes at the university. The specific subject matter was of little consequence. The primary aim was to experience university life, and if he could find a girlfriend, that would be even better. Before long, Lei Tang was prepared, having mobilized over 50 elite personnel from the Benhai Yeyuan branch to accompany Chun Shao. The rendezvous point arranged by Tong Yu was situated in a picturesque resort located 20 kilometers from Jining. Initially, Chun Shao assumed that her choice of location signified a lack of trust, indicating a highly fortified environment. However, upon arrival, not a single bodyguard was in sight. At the entrance stood a tall woman, clad in a white blouse, a black pencil skirt, black stockings, and high heels that rose 7 to 8 centimeters, delicate enough to seem as if they might snap at any moment. Are you Tong Yu? Chun Shao, uninterested in gathering her background information, had anticipated an older woman, perhaps in her 40s or 50s, only to find someone who appeared to be under 30, with an exquisite visage and an alluring figure. Clearly, she had done her homework. Nodding slightly, she greeted, Mr. Chun, it is truly a pleasure to have you here. I have arrived. Speak freely. What would you like to discuss? With a radiant smile, Tong Yu invited Mr. Chun, a guest from afar, to enter and enjoy a cup of tea. Chun Xiao surveyed the surroundings. Behind her stood a quaint villa, enveloped in tranquility. The bodyguards, who had scattered upon their arrival, were also scrutinizing the area. Once Lei Ting confirmed the environment was secure. Chun Xiao nodded. Very well, it would be my honor to comply. Mr. Chun, please, she said, following Tong Yu into the house. The interior was devoid of any presence, save for a tea room on the second floor, elegantly arranged with utensils. Mr. Chun, please take a seat. Let us converse over tea, Tong Yu suggested. Chun Xiao nodded subtly and seated herself, while Lei Ting and a few others maintained their vigil a few meters away. She paid no heed to the multitude of bodyguards accompanying Chun Xiao. A delicate smile adorned her exquisite features. Tong Yu's tea-making skills were impressive. Or at least, that was Chun Xiao's impression. The elaborate presentation was indeed pleasing to the eye. Mr. Chun, please enjoy the tea, Tong Yu said, raising her cup in salute before consuming the beverage herself, intending to allay any doubts Chun Xiao might harbor. Please, Chun Xiao mused, recognizing the woman's high emotional intelligence. Ms. Tong, you are well aware of my intentions. Please state your conditions, Chun Xiao prompted. Tong Yu smiled slightly. Mr. Chun, you are a man of stature, commanding a vast number of subordinates, thus unafraid of any threats. However, I am but a solitary individual, and I cannot afford to offend the Wang family. Chun Xiao's realization dawned. So that was the crux of the matter. Since you have summoned me, you must have a plan in mind. Why not share it? Tong Yu straightened in her seat, the tautness of her white shirt accentuating her curves, deepening the intrigue. Truly, nothing escapes Mr. Chen's perception. The solution is simple. There are two conditions. Should you fulfill either, you may have your way with me, she stated. Speak plainly, Chun Xiao replied. First, you must take me as your woman. Chun Xiao frowned. And the second? A hint of disappointment washed over Tong Yu. The second is to facilitate my departure from the country. Chun Xiao pondered. Neither proposition seemed appropriate. Chapter 333. Provocation. Tong Yu paused, then chuckled. Mr. Chun, one cannot merely ride a horse without providing it with fodder. Chun Xiao retorted. The second son of the Wang family wields considerable influence abroad. Your safety would be compromised outside rather than within the country. Though Tong Yu commanded a dark web that once served Wang Ju, her understanding of the Wang family appeared limited. Her audacity to betray was fueled by witnessing the demise of Shi Zhongfu, Xing Yanqing, and Wang Jiankai. In contrast to Wang Ju, the intimidation Chun Xiao exuded was far more potent. What about the first? Tong Yu inquired hopefully. Chun Xiao remained speechless. What are you pondering? Ah, Mr. Chun, I do not mean for you to marry me. Being your clandestine lover would suffice, Tong Yu clarified. That is unnecessary. What you seek is safety, and I shall provide that. Tong Yu sighed softly. Alas, without a deeper relationship, it may be precarious. Chun Xiao thought. This woman truly intersperses her words with temptation. Miss Tong, I assure you, what I promise will be fulfilled, particularly in regard to a delicate woman such as yourself. After considerable contemplation, Tong Yu finally sighed. Then I shall entrust myself to you, Mr. Chun. Very well, Chun Xiao responded. Shall we venture inside to discuss the details? Tong Yu suggested. Is this not permissible? She glanced at Thunder and the others. Mr. Chun, while our dealings may be modest, they encompass numerous coarse secrets and can only be divulged to you alone. Thunder furrowed his brow slightly. However, we must first enter to conduct a thorough inspection to ensure safety. Very well, proceed as you wish. Thunder nodded and led several individuals inside to meticulously examine the premises, removing any sharp or blunt objects that could potentially be used as weapons. Only then did he report, Boss, all is in order. Chun Xiao rose and replied, Excellent, please lead the way. Following Tong Yu into a secluded chamber, which resembled a bedroom. He was greeted by an array of monitors, displaying an array of complex data that Chun Xiao could not comprehend. Tong Yu, with a demure demeanor, inquired, Mr. Chun, which aspect would you like to explore first? Any will suffice, Chun Xiao answered. At 8 o'clock that evening, having clarified all pertinent details, Chun Xiao departed from the villa. True to his word, he instructed Thunder on the way back to incorporate Tong Yu's villa into the Black Shield security defense system, to thwart any retaliatory actions from Wang Tian. The following day, evidence of Wang Ju's criminal activities began to circulate wildly across various obscure websites. Wang Ju, just awakening, remained oblivious to the fact that Wang Tian had usurped his position. He sensed a dwindling number of associates around him and an increasingly dismissive attitude towards him. Fortunately, he was unaware of the external circumstances, Otherwise, he would have found himself back inside before he could even step out. The incriminating evidence against Wang Ju was a source of relentless vexation for Wang Tian. Having just assumed control of the Wang family, he could not allow his lineage to be shamed. What is happening? Who dares to disseminate this information? His subordinates reported Mr. Wang. The sources are gray websites hosted on foreign servers, and we have no means to locate them. Wang Tian's expression darkened. Is this Chun Zhao's doing? His subordinates, bewildered, were newly returned with Wang Tian and possessed limited knowledge of Chun Zhao. Exchanging glances of confusion, Wang Tian's face tightened. Investigate this at once. Yes. Wang Tian mobilized extensive resources, yet progress remained sluggish. Had he the opportunity to consult Wang Ju, he would likely deduce that it was Tong Yu's handiwork. Regrettably, the prideful Wang Tian, newly in command of the Wang family, would never stoop to inquire of Wang Ju. Meanwhile, Wang Ju lay in the intensive care unit, entirely unaware of the chaos outside. Had he known his criminal evidence was circulating online, he might have swallowed his pride and informed Wang Tian of Tong Yu's involvement, urging a swift resolution to avoid further trouble. Yet, in this world, there are no what-ifs. Days later, as Wang Ju's condition stabilized, he clamored to be discharged. Akanth wished to speak, but ultimately could not restrain himself. Mr. Wang, perhaps you should remain a few more days. Wang Ju paused. Why? I'm already well. I must return to contend with that scoundrel Chen Xiao. Akanth was speechless. If only he knew the family head of the Wang clan had changed hands. Compounded with the rampant circulation of incriminating evidence, he would be more concerned for his health than engaging in any rivalry. He might not even make it through the door before succumbing to a fit of rage. The doctor mentioned you still require observation. The attending physician, perplexed, remarked, I did not say that. Akin, silence yourself. Doctor. Wang Ju pondered for a moment. Akin, has something transpired? Akin reflected and replied, Mr. Wang, your current health status remains uncertain at best. Wang Ju, in a state of urgency, exclaimed, If you do not let me know, will you not drive me to despair? Akin, somewhat helpless, responded, Mr. Wang, I beg your pardon for my impertinence, but should you become aware of these matters, it may jeopardize your life. Wang Ju's head buzzed, and his blood pressure surged alarmingly. The doctor felt a wave of exhaustion. Here we go again. However, having faced life and death multiple times, Wang Ju had learned to adopt a more relaxed outlook. He forcibly reassured himself and quickly adjusted his mindset. Very well. I shall remain hospitalized for a few more days. Akin felt a sense of relief. I shall make the necessary arrangements for you. Wang Ju nodded wearily. Yet, his desire to stay in the hospital would not be so easily fulfilled. At that moment, several law enforcement officers entered. Wang Ju, is it? Come with us to assist in the investigation. Wang Ju realized why Akin had prevented him from being discharged. It was a case of being released from the hospital only to be taken into custody. May I make a phone call? No, you cannot. You are coming with us. Ultimately, Wang Ju could not evade the law's retribution, for his incriminating evidence had leaked from dark web forums to mainstream media, becoming public knowledge. While some aspects of public opinion could be managed, many remained uncontrollable, branding him a pariah online. Wang Ju was promptly disowned by his family. The loss of face was painful, yet preferable to a complete downfall. Wang Tian, exasperated, had just taken the reins of the family legacy and was met with disgrace before achieving any success. Just then, Chun Xiao unexpectedly called. Wang Tian, with a gloomy expression, remarked, Do not celebrate too soon. Ha ha, Wang Tian, I once thought you were formidable, but you are merely a son-in-law of convenience. The bullet has barely left the chamber and already hit its mark. What do you have to say about that? Wang Tian was taken aback. He had not anticipated that Chun Xiao would uncover his secrets so swiftly. Do you have connections abroad? Chun Xiao replied with a smirk. If you are so impressive, why not investigate for yourself? You've won this round, but you will inevitably pay for your transgressions today. Fool, I await your return. With that, Chun Xiao ended the call. Wang Tian's face turned an ominous shade. Chun Xiao smiled faintly, his rudeness intended to provoke Wang Tian into revealing his vulnerabilities, creating an opportunity to eliminate both him and the Wang family. Chapter 334. Why is this child so sensitive to the cold? During the period following the escalation of the Wang Ju incident, Tongxiao Capital remained industrious, amassing over 30 billion in shares of Atlantic Capital Group across all its accounts. Yan Ziyuan found himself powerless against this development, as these were all publicly traded shares in the secondary market. Initially pleased with Chun Zhao's increasing stake in the company, he now harbored growing concerns. With 30 billion, his holdings surpassed 10% of Atlantic Capital Group, positioning him as a significant shareholder. and his shares were not scattered across numerous accounts. Thus, the opportunity to sell remains ever present. Yin Ziyuan harbored deep concerns. What if Chen Xiao decided to liquidate his holdings? Would it trigger a chain reaction, causing the company's stock price to plummet? For several days, he found it difficult to eat and sleep, incessantly mulling over this issue. Ultimately, he resolved to call Chen Xiao and gauge the situation. Upon receiving Yin Ziyuan's call, Chen Xiao smiled faintly, thinking to himself that this fellow was clearly unsettled. "Hello, Director Yin? What do you need from me?" Yin Ziyuan's voice was somewhat hoarse. "Chen Xiao, you've acquired over 10 billion shares of Atlantic Capital Group. What exactly are your intentions?" Just standard financial operations. Nothing ulterior," Chen Xiao replied with a chuckle. Yin Ziyuan was a loss for words. "When do you plan to sell?" Chen Xiao rolled his eyes, wondering if Yin Ziyuan had lost his senses. "When to sell is a confidential matter. Why would I disclose that to you? That's uncertain and depends on market conditions. Old Yin, don't overthink it. Whatever happens, I am not intentionally targeting you." Yin Ziyuan then inquired, "How have things been between you and Bingxin lately?" Chen Xiao couldn't help but smile inwardly. How not so long ago, he had felt like a mere minnow before a titan like Yin Ziyuan. Now, he found that this powerful figure was concerned whether his daughter had vexed him and might retaliate. "Rest assured, my relationship with Yin Bingxin is quite good." "Oh, that's splendid. You young folks should take your time." "All right then, Director Yin, goodbye." "Goodbye." After hanging up, Yin Ziyuan felt somewhat relieved. His next step was to secure the plot of land in Yindu. Chen Zhao's presence remained an unpredictable threat. That land was of utmost importance. If successfully developed, it could yield profits of at least 3 to 4 times the investment. He could not afford to let it slip away. Yin Ziyuan sighed. His eldest daughter, who had always seemed inconsequential, had now become his anchor of reassurance. Meanwhile, she was completely unaware of her father's predicament, as she was still in Bingsheng, striving for Chen Xiao. This day, having a rare moment of free time, she chose not to focus on Atlantic Capital Group's affairs, but rather to call Su Xiaolan. "Hello, this is Yin Bingxin. Do you remember me?" Su Xiaolan, possibly in class, spoke softly. "I remember. What do you need?" Yin Bingxin replied, "It's nothing urgent. I would like to invite you to dinner. Do you have time?" After a brief consideration, Su Xiaolan responded, "How about after school this evening?" "Perfect. I will send you the restaurant address shortly." "All right, goodbye." In late November in Bingsheng, the daytime temperatures had already dipped several degrees below zero, with nighttime plunging to around -15 degrees. Having lived for years in Jining, Yin Bingxin was quite unaccustomed to this cold. She rarely ventured outdoors. Her movements limited to the underground parking of her home and that of her destination. If the place she intended to visit lacked underground parking, she would refrain from going unless absolutely necessary. She felt akin to a tropical mermaid, at risk of freezing if separated from her warm environment. Thus, the restaurant she chose was one accessible directly from an underground parking facility. At around 6 in the evening, after school, she was escorted by her bodyguard to the designated restaurant. This marked their second encounter and the first formal meeting. "Hello, Miss Su." Su Xiaolan gazed at the exquisite beauty before her, whose allure and grace were truly one in a million, and felt a twinge of self-doubt. Though she too possessed beauty, the elegant demeanor exuded by Yin Bingxin was not something an ordinary girl could easily attain. "Hello," Yin Bingxin greeted with a warm smile. "It's quite chilly today, and you're dressed rather lightly. I envy your spirit." The amiable tone eased Su Xiaolan's tension. "I grew up in the northern province. If you stay here longer, you'll acclimate." "Well then, I hope you will help me get acquainted with the local customs and culture of the northern province," Su Xiaolan replied. "Certainly," Yin Bingxin said, handing over a menu. "What do you like to eat?" "It's on me. Let me treat you instead." "You are the guest," Su Xiaolan insisted. Yin Bingxin pondered briefly. "All right, then I shall treat you next time." As they engaged in light conversation, a sense of familiarity blossomed between them. As a manager of several corporate groups, Yin Bingxin found it effortlessly simple to cultivate a rapport with someone. Su Xiaolan, lacking in social experience, was easily influenced. "How long have you been dating Chen Xiao?" Yin Bingxin inquired casually. 143 days, Su Xiaolan replied. Yin Bingxin was taken aback. Such a precise count was unexpected. Typically, relationships spanned years or months. But to remember the exact number of days indicated how much this girl valued the relationship. "Oh, you remember it quite well," she remarked with a smile. Regarding your connection with Chen Xiao, Yin Bingxin stated candidly, "We are friends and also partners. We have a project in Ice City." She was cautious not to interfere with Chen Xiao's affairs, as he had already distanced himself from her, and she didn't want to provoke his displeasure. "Oh, I see. Thank you for your support of Chen Xiao." Su Xiaolan expressed gratefully. Yin Bingqin was momentarily taken aback, chuckling lightly. There's no need for such formalities. Chun Xiao has assisted me greatly as well. Have you been at Chun Xiao's home? Yes, I go every weekend, Su Xiaolan replied. Yin Bingqin was momentarily dumbfounded. Visiting every weekend was certainly a privilege reserved for a potential daughter-in-law. A pang of jealousy struck her heart, though she maintained her composed exterior. After a moment of reflection, she said, I see. There are matters regarding the Ice City project that need to be discussed with Uncle Chin in person. Since tomorrow is the weekend, could you take me along when you visit his home? Upon hearing the importance of the request, Su Xiaolan readily agreed. Oh, sure. I'll come to pick you up tomorrow. Yes, just call me when you arrive downstairs. I'll drive along with you, Yin Bingqin confirmed. Meanwhile, in distant Jining, Chun Xiao remained oblivious to the happenings at home. After awakening from his slumber beside Yu Mingqi, he proceeded to attend his classes. On the other side, Su Xiaolan arrived early at Yin Bingqin's residence, accompanied only by a bodyguard and driver. The distance from Ice City to Lan County was merely 100 kilometers, and within an hour, they reached Lanshan Villa. Learning of Chun Xiao's friend's visit, Wang Li had specifically instructed the servants to prepare additional dishes. Shen Jiangwo had also mentioned he would return for lunch. As the car entered the courtyard, Wang Li, clad in a down jacket, stepped out to greet them. Noticing Su Xiaolan's light attire, she couldn't help but admonish her. It's so cold. Why are you dressed so lightly? Xiaolan smiled as she linked her arm with Wang Li's. Annie, I'm not cold. This is mugwort I bought for you. Perfect for soaking your feet. Wang Li's face instantly blossomed into a radiant smile, but she glanced at the girl beside her, who appeared bundled up like a rice dumpling, somewhat uncertain. This is Yin Bingqin. She introduced herself. Hello, Auntie. I am Chun Zhao's friend, Yin Bingqin. Upon hearing her voice, Wang Li realized she was indeed a girl. Oh, then let's head inside. Why is this child so afraid of the cold? She thought, wondering if there might be some underlying issue. Are you blaming your daughter-in-law for not dressing warmly enough? Auntie? All right then. Chapter 335. All is well once inside. Yin Bingqin shed her heavy layers, and Wang Li was struck by how beautiful the young woman was. Moreover, she was a friend of Chun Xiao. Wang Li glanced at Xiao Lan, but chose to remain silent. Please, have a seat. I will check on the lunch preparations, she said. All right. Auntie, please take your time. Yin Bingqin replied sweetly. On the coffee table lay an assortment of fruits and snacks, mostly Xiaolan's favorites. Sister Qin, would you like some sunflower seeds? Oh yes, please. As Yin Bingqin surveyed her surroundings, she remarked, Chun Zhao's home is quite lovely. Indeed, the two engaged in light conversation. Before long, Chun Jiangwo entered. Yin Bingqin and Xiao Lan immediately stood up. Uncle, you're back. Let me introduce you. This is Chun Zhao's friend, Jin Ning, and her name is Yin Bingqin. She wishes to discuss some business with you. Hello, Uncle. Chun Jiangwo looked at Yin Bingqin, momentarily taken aback by her beauty. It reminded him of the time at Jining University when Chun Xiao was escorted out of the stadium by two equally beautiful girls. This rascal has quite a few friends, he thought. Silly girl, Xiaolan. Haha, welcome to El Nexi Inn, young lady. You're too kind, Uncle. It's taken me so long to visit you since arriving in Beisheng, so please don't mind me. Through recent experiences, Chun Jiangwo had encountered a variety of individuals. He frequented luxury cars and the county's top hotels, transitioning from drinking erguo to Wuliangya. His attire and demeanor had evolved significantly, broadening his horizons. In contrast to Xiaolan, Yin Bingqin exuded the aura of a socially adept young woman, her calm confidence indicative of a background not easily cultivated. No need to be so polite. Sit down and chat. Sure. Yin Bingqin smiled sweetly and settled into her seat. You southern girls must find the climate here quite a change. Are you adjusting? Yin Bingqin rubbed her hands together. Yes, Uncle, Beijing is indeed very cold, but this chill carries a unique charm that I quite like. I believe I'll adapt. Haha. Then you'll need to stay in Beisheng for a while. Indeed, I must stay longer. I'm collaborating with Chun Xiao on a project in Ice City, which means I might spend the entire winter here. Oh, are you in charge of the project in Ice City? Yin Bingqin nodded slightly. Yes, Uncle. Chun Jiangwo felt an unexpected surprise. At such a young age, one could helm such a significant project. He recalled how he felt overwhelmed while preparing to open a supermarket himself. Truly a prodigy. Yin Bingqin smiled gently. Oh, Uncle, you flatter me. It is merely that I encountered some difficulties in attracting investment and sought your assistance. I hope you can lend your invaluable support. Chun Jiangwo responded, is it regarding the supermarket? Indeed, Uncle, she affirmed. We are in dire need of a large supermarket, and after evaluating numerous options, I found that your Yonghui supermarket is the most fitting. Clearing his throat, he replied, "Is that so? Yonghui Supermarket is akin to my second child. It marks a turning point in my life and the inception of my career. Naturally, I'm elated to receive such praise. Yes, I have researched your Yonghui Supermarket. Its business philosophy and management model are remarkably modern, aligning perfectly with our project. Should you agree to develop in Ice City, I can personally arrange for your rent to be waived." Chun Jiangwo replied, "That would be rather inappropriate. Such a golden opportunity must surely attract many eager tenants. If you waive my rent, I would feel quite embarrassed, my dear." Yin Bingqin chuckled lightly. "Very well, then I shall offer you the most favorable price. Surely, you can accept that?" A broad smile spread across Chun Jiangwo's face. Expanding his business from small county to the provincial capital was an entirely different concept. "Thank you for your generous invitation, Xiao Yan. You are too kind, uncle," she replied. Chun Jiangwo felt a mix of joy and contemplation. Despite seeking assistance, he found himself being invited to Lanchang. He couldn't help but acknowledge that this young lady's social acumen and emotional intelligence surpassed Su Xiaolan's by a significant margin. The two conversed amiably until lunch was prepared. Wang Li called everyone to the table. The spacious and luxurious dining room buzzed with excitement today. Wang Li encouraged the two young ladies to indulge in the dishes, though she seemed to favor Su Xiaolan slightly. Meanwhile, Chun Jiangwo found himself increasingly in sync with Yin Bingqin, ensuring she did not feel neglected. After the meal, Chun Jiangwo retired for a nap, while Yin Bingqin and Su Xiaolan settled in the living room on the first floor to watch television. "I say, old Chun, is this Xiao Yin truly your son's friend?" Wang Li inquired. Knowing his son well, Chun Jiangwo was almost certain that there was something more between the girl and his son. "How would I know? The boy barely returns twice a year, and when he does, she's my boss," he replied. Wang Li shot him a glance. "What a father you are. What's wrong? Countless people envy being this boy's father." Chun Jiangwo retorted. Wang Li shrugged. "I feel that Xiao Yan's relationship with him is rather special." Chun Jiangwo replied. "Why concern ourselves with that? Xiao Yan is quite an impressive individual. I have high hopes for her." Wang Li sighed. "They're all good kids, but what about Xiaolan?" Chun Jiangwo was unaware of Chun Zhao's thoughts. "The boy has grown. He is no longer under his mother's wing. You needn't fret." Wang Li gazed out the window, lost in thought, contemplating a scenario where one focused on external affairs while the other managed the home. Chun Jiangwo, feeling speechless, suggested, "All right, get some rest. While it is still light, you may yet have a beautiful dream. Go on, go sleep on the sofa. Don't delay me from dreaming." Wang Li retorted. Chun Jiangwo was left speechless, immediately regretting his impulsive words. Downstairs, Yin Bingqin inquired, "May I have a tour?" "Oh, certainly. Follow me," Su Xiaolan replied. She guided Yin Bingqin through the public areas and arrived at the door of a sunlit guest room. "Sister Qin, would it be all right for you to stay in this room tonight?" Yin Bingqin nodded. "Sure, but where will you be staying?" Su Xiaolan, her head bowed and cheeks flushed, pointed upstairs. I'll be upstairs." Yin Bingqin glanced around, noting that the design of the villa allocated the entire third floor to the owner. Since Chun Zhao's parents occupied the master bedroom on the second floor, it was clear that he would also be residing on the third floor. "Oh, that sounds good," Su Xiaolan remarked. "I'll arrange for someone to bring you a new set of bedding." Yin Bingqin smiled. "No need. I just remembered I have matters to attend to in Ice City. I must return now. Let us arrange to meet again when I have the time." Chapter 336. Yin Ziyuan's financing what? "Are you not staying?" Su Xiaolan asked. "No, perhaps next time," she replied. "Oh, all right then." When Chun Jiangwo and Wang Li rose in the afternoon, Yin Bingqin expressed her desire to leave. "Uncle, Auntie, I'm very sorry, but I have urgent matters in Ice City regarding a project that has just begun. I must head back now and will visit you again when things settle down." Hearing that it was about her project, Chun Jiangwo responded, "That's fine. Since it's work-related, I want to keep you. If you need any assistance in Beisheng, just give us a call. You are Zhao's friend. We are all family, so please don't hesitate." Yin Bingqin nodded slightly. "Thank you, uncle. Goodbye, Annie." Wang Li added, "Oh, goodbye. Don't forget to take care of yourself while working. Do come over to play when you have time." "All right, Andy. I'm off now. Take care," they replied. Yin Bingqin beamed sweetly as she settled in her car, waving goodbye to Chun Jiangwo and his wife as the vehicle departed from Lanshan Villa. With Su Xiaolan present, the couple felt it inappropriate to voice their thoughts. Chun Jiangwo remarked, "By the way, I'm heading to the office. Is there anything Xiaolan needs? I can bring something back this evening." "We're all set, uncle. Just drive safely," she replied. "Sure thing." Chun Jiangwo drove the Mercedes-Benz that Chun Xiao had gifted him out of the neighborhood. Lanshan Villa returned to its usual tranquility. This time, Yin Bingqin arrived in Lancheng, not in the Rolls-Royce left by Chen Xiao, but in her own Maybach. Seated in the back, she rested her elbow on the armrest, her delicate hand elegantly supporting her chin as she drifted into thought. Her long lashes occasionally fluttered, while the index finger of her other hand rhythmically tapped against her slender thigh. After a moment, her phone rang. Upon seeing the caller ID, a smile unconsciously graced her lips. "Hello, little brother, missing your sister?" Chen Xiao was at a loss for words, having just received a call from Chun Jiangwo informing him of Yin Bingqin's visit, which startled him. Fortunately, he managed to subtly inquire and confirm that nothing was amiss, though it left Chun Jiangwo feeling somewhat guilty. "What nonsense, you went to my house. Why are you so fierce about it? Just because you visited my home doesn't mean I can't visit yours," Yin Bingqin retorted. Chen Xiao was speechless. "It's not the same, is it? My situation is rather intricate, and you likely wouldn't comprehend it." What is there not to understand? It is simply a matter of your family providing a daughter-in-law for your parents while outside. The world is adorned with blooming flowers in splendid array. Chen Xiao coughed. "But we must avoid any mishaps." Yin Bingqin nonchalantly replied, "What is the big deal? I've seen it all before. Rest assured, I won't say a word. Wherever we go, I'll simply introduce myself as your friend. Alas, why go to such lengths? Isn't it better to earn money honestly?" Yin Bingqin remarked. "The allure lies in reaping both wealth and beauty. By the way, I wish to pose a question to you." "Go ahead." After a moment of contemplation, Chun Xiao inquired, "If I were to fall into water alongside your father, whom would you save first?" "You," Yin Bingqin responded without hesitation. "Huh? Your father can swim?" Yin Bingqin replied. "I don't know if he can, but I would save you first." Chen Xiao puzzled asked why. Yin Bingqin sighed, "Because he has thoroughly disappointed me, while you have not." Chen Xiao was left speechless. "Well, I appreciate it. No need for thanks." Meanwhile, Yin Ziyuan was seated in a private jet, having just landed in Yindu. He was about to partake in a crucial auction. Prior to that, he needed to negotiate a deal with a financing institution, which involved pledging 10% of the company's stock to raise $30 billion for the upcoming auction. "Will the stock price reach the target range by tomorrow?" "Yes, boss. Given the current trend, it may very well reach the target range before the market closes." Yin Ziyuan nodded, exhaling deeply as he disembarked from the plane. The Atlantic Capital Group had been quite active recently, and funds were indeed tight. The valuation of the pledged stocks was of utmost importance. Upon alighting, Yin Ziyuan led his team promptly to the opposing company. The financial firm, recognizing the rapid growth of Atlantic Capital, placed significant importance on this meeting, with Chairman Yin Peng personally receiving them. "Ha ha ha, Mr. Yin, your arrival is much appreciated. Please forgive the lack of a proper welcome." "Chairman Yin, you are too kind. I trust there have been no changes regarding our previous discussions?" "None whatsoever. Come, Mr. Yin, let us discuss in the conference room. My team is already prepared." Inside the conference room, after navigating the initial pleasantries, the two teams soon engaged in a vigorous exchange. This may be problematic. Although the stock price trend for Atlantic Capital is on the rise, it has yet to stabilize within the price range you mentioned. Therefore, a 10% stake at $20 billion is quite substantial. Externally calm, Yin Ziyuan felt a twinge of anxiety internally. That piece of land in Yindu would undoubtedly require at least $30 billion to acquire it. However, now was not the time for him to speak. His subordinates argued fervently that $20 billion was too low for the stock price, insisting that, based on today's market, at least $25 billion would be reasonable. Market value and pledge valuation are not the same. We must account for the worst-case scenario of a significant stock sell-off leading to price depreciation. Atlantic Capital is in a phase of rapid growth. With so many projects nationwide, how could we possibly encounter such extreme circumstances? The representatives from the financial firm remained silent, as they naturally had to consider the worst outcomes when lending money. The employees of Atlantic Capital Group, of course, do not wish for others to underestimate their company. After all, the core members hold equity stakes. Observing the stalemate between both parties, Yin Ziyuan smiled knowingly, realizing it was his turn to interject. "General Yin, our dealings have spanned more than just a day or two. Atlantic Capital Group has developed over a decade to reach its current stature." Yin Peng replied, "Mr. Yin, I am indeed well acquainted with you and Atlantic Capital Group. However, the financial market adheres to its own rules. I hold your company in high regard. How about this? I have no objections to $25 billion. This figure still falls short of Yin Ziyuan's target by $50 billion. Noticing his silence, Yin Peng continued, "Mr. Yin, if you insist on pledging $30 billion, it may require waiting for the stock price to reach the level you mentioned." Yin Ziyuan responded, "I anticipate it will reach that point by tomorrow. Yin Peng chuckled. Mr. Yin, as our esteemed guest, I have prepared food and drink. Let us indulge tonight and discuss further tomorrow, shall we? Yin Zuan was at a loss for words. This fellow was not one to act without certainty. Continuing the conversation seemed futile. Very well, it would be my honor to comply. Please, after you. Within Yin Ziyuan's team, there was a member tasked with monitoring stock price fluctuations at all times. Before they even reached the restaurant, this individual's expression changed dramatically as he hurried to Yin Zuan, whispering, "Boss, the stock price's growth rate has slowed, and an influx of sell orders has appeared." What? How could this be? Yin Ziyuan's subordinate brought over a laptop, confirming the troubling news. The market was no longer dominated by buyers. At some point, a plethora of sell orders had emerged. Is it Chen Xiao? No, boss. Chen Xiao has not yet liquidated his position. Yin Ziyuan's brow furrowed deeper. If it wasn't Chen Xiao, it indicated that the stock price of Atlantic Capital Group had already reached the psychological limit for investors, prompting many to take profits. This led to a tug-of-war with new entrants, ultimately causing the stock price's growth to decelerate. Yin Ziyuan would have preferred it to be due to Chen Xiao's selling. At least that would suggest Atlantic Capital Group's stock had not yet peaked. This was dire. The situation deviated significantly from the plan. Yin Ziyuan discreetly closed the laptop, deciding to postpone discussions on this matter and focus on securing the financial company's personnel tonight. Understood. Before the market closed, Chen Xiao took one last look at Atlantic Capital Group's stock price, a slight smirk appearing on his lips. Since the emergence of concealed information, Atlantic Capital Group had cumulatively risen over 23%, nearing its peak. The potential for further increases was limited. At this moment, he held stocks valued at $30 billion from Atlantic Capital Group. Su Tang, boss, I'm here. Begin liquidating tomorrow. Yes. Meanwhile, Yin Ziyuan, engaged in a fierce battle at the banquet table with the financial company, remained unaware that a far more significant crisis awaited him just ahead. Come, General Yin, let me toast to you once more. This marks our third occasion sharing drinks together. Ha ha, Mr. Yin, your capacity is remarkable. I hope for a fruitful collaboration this time. Yin Ziyuan remarked, let us resolve this matter once and for all. I shall make the arrangements tomorrow. We will proceed to the next round. Yin Peng chuckled. Today, let us drink without discussing business. After all, one must enjoy oneself. Everyone present, seasoned as they were, understood the subtleties of the game. No one could truly outmaneuver the others. Internally, Yin Ziyuan sighed, yet he feigned exuberance, exclaiming, indeed, let us drink to our heart's content. At this juncture, he resolved not to pursue further negotiations at the table. He wished to avoid an overtly utilitarian atmosphere that could sour the mood and jeopardize future discussions. Thus, he focused solely on the revelry of the evening. To Yin Ziyuan, rather than merely indulging for pleasure, it felt more like drowning his sorrows in drink. While he appeared carefree on the surface, internally he was consumed by anxiety. Losing the Yindu territory would mean forfeiting the best opportunity to establish a foothold there. A significant portion of the rise in Atlantic Capital Group stock price was predicated on the belief of investors that he could secure the Yindu land. Should he abandon or fail in this endeavor, the stock price would likely plummet. The fluctuations of the company's stock were crucial to Atlantic Capital. Yin Ziyuan had already maximized his mortgage loans, leaving him reliant solely on stock market arbitrage as a new source of funding. The two teams drank until the early hours, engaging in the extravagant pastimes reserved for the affluent, activities that outsiders might find ethically questionable. Their indulgence continued unabated until dawn. The following day, both parties sat in the conference room awaiting the opening price. Yin Peng had also received word that the rise in Atlantic Capital Group's stock price had slowed. The atmosphere in the room grew tense, with dozens of eyes fixated on the projector screen. Soon, the auction began. The situation for Atlantic Capital Group appeared precarious. As trading commenced, both sides engaged in fierce combat, with the bulls holding only a slight advantage. Indeed, the stock price's increase had faltered, failing to reach the range Yin Ziyuan had anticipated. Yin Peng withdrew his gaze and remarked, Mr. Yin, I fear that 25 billion is the upper limit. Yin Ziyuan reflected, after much ado, we have yet to meet our expectations. The remaining 5 billion must be sought through other means. Very well, let us proceed as you suggest, Mr. Yin. Let us sign the contract. Just as both parties were about to finalize the agreement, a report came from the financial company's subordinate. Boss, Atlantic Capital Group stock price is stagnating and showing signs of decline. Yin Ziyuan, upon hearing this, paused as Yin Peng's pen hovered above the paper. With an apologetic tone, he suggested, Mr. Yin, perhaps we should postpone the signing of this contract. Allow me to accompany you on a tour of Yindu. to appreciate its historical landmarks. Yin Ziyuan was speechless. He could scarcely manage a meal, let alone enjoy a sightseeing excursion. What is happening? He quietly inquired of a nearby subordinate. The response came swiftly. Boss, there's been a sudden influx of sell orders in the market, resulting in fierce clashes with the buyers. Yin Ziyuan furrowed his brow and contemplated. Mr. Yin, let us reconvene in a few days. I have pressing matters to attend to, so I must take my leave. Yin Peng, understanding the urgency of Yin Ziyuan's situation, did not insist on prolonging their meeting. As Yin Ziyuan slowly made his way, he anticipated the next collaboration with his counterpart. Upon returning to the hotel, a troubling thought crossed his mind. Who was selling off a substantial amount of the company's stocks? The boss had discovered that it was Chun Xiao. Yin Ziyuan was taken aback. Just a few days prior, Chun had not sold any shares. Why, at this critical juncture, had he begun to divest? He decided to mobilize funds to stabilize the stock price and made a call. Hello, came Chun Xiao's voice on the other end. Oh, it's nothing much. But I heard you've started selling stocks of Atlantic Capital Group? Chun Xiao readily admitted. Indeed, as per our plan, it is time to sell. Yin Ziyuan urged. Could you possibly wait a few days? Chun Xiao sighed. I've mentioned several times that trading in Atlantic Capital Group stocks is a standard financial operation. Whether buying or selling, it is devoid of any personal sentiment. Yin Ziyuan acknowledged the truth in Chun Xiao's words, yet he needed to stabilize the stock price. There is nothing that cannot be discussed. What conditions would prompt you to cease selling? With a smile, Chun Xiao replied, simple, transfer $6 billion to my account, and I can transfer my shares of Atlantic Group to you at the cost price. Yin Ziyuan thought to himself, isn't this akin to purchasing all the stocks from him? If I had the funds, why would I demean myself in such a manner? Cough, Qindong. I am currently facing some financial constraints and cannot produce such a sum at once. After a moment of contemplation, Chun Xiao suggested, how about you provide me with $7 billion, and I could delay selling for 2 months? He calculated that selling now would yield approximately $6 billion in profit. If he held onto the stocks and the price fell by 25, he would be looking at around $7 billion. Chun Xiao was willing to assist him, given that he was Yin Bingqin's father, as long as it did not compromise his own interests. However, Yin Ziyuan could not even muster $7 billion otherwise. He would have been entangled with Yin Peng over $5 billion. Qindong, I cannot raise that much cash at the moment. Chun Xiao was left speechless. What was the point of discussing matters without funds? His own interests were at stake, and even the highest authority would not change that. Well, Yin Dong, I have a meeting to attend. Please see if you can gather some cash, and we can discuss this further. Chapter 338. I've severed ties with your father. As Yin Ziyuan listened to the call disconnect, his expression fluctuated between anger and frustration. Chun Xiao, Yin, have shown you respect, since you failed to appreciate it. Do not blame me for being unyielding. It was no wonder that he was furious. He had indeed treated Chun Xiao with considerable courtesy, and Chun Xiao was aware of this. Yet, such respect could not serve as leverage in business dealings, nor could it persuade Chun Xiao to relinquish the imminent profits. At best, it could only be considered a personal favor, trivial in the face of conflicting interests. The date for the land auction loomed closer, and Yin Ziyuan was in a state of agitation. On one hand, the stock prices were languishing, and on the other, funds were scarce. Money. Where could I possibly source it? Who possesses the most wealth? In the realm of Yin capital, the Wang family. In the bustling metropolis of Shanghai, the Liu family. In the western land of Shu, the Wang family again? Yin Ziyuan's mind sparked with clarity. Chun Xiao, have you not shown me any regard? Do you not bear a grudge against Wang Ju? Since you have acted thus, what hesitation remains for me? With this thought, Yin Ziyuan retrieved his phone and dialed. Hello, this is Yin Ziyuan, the chairman of Atlantic Capital Group. I wish to speak with Mr. Wang Ju regarding an urgent matter. Wang Ju, he is unavailable. A deep voice responded. Yin Ziyuan was taken aback. Unavailable? Has he passed? When did this occur? My condolences. Condolences? Wang Ju has been taken for investigation and is temporarily unable to take calls. Is there something you wish to discuss? Yin Ziyuan inquired. Wang Ju is in custody? The Wang family, with its far-reaching influence, would allow their leader to falter? I have a business proposition for the Wang family. May I inquire who is currently in charge? Oh, I see. Mr. Wang Tian, who has just returned from overseas, is now overseeing Wang family affairs. As a member of an esteemed family himself, Yin Ziyuan quickly grasped the implications. Wang Ju had not merely fallen to adversaries, but had become a casualty of an internal power struggle, with his younger brother seizing control. Ah, Mr. Wang Tian, it is an honor. Might I have the privilege of speaking with you? The steward pondered, given Atlantic Capital Group's stature in the domestic arena. He dared not unilaterally decide on the meeting. Very well, Mr. Yin, allow me to report this. Thank you. Though the line fell silent, Yin Ziyuan remained attentive. Soon, a voice emerged from the receiver. Hello, this is Wang Tian. Greetings, Mr. Wang. I am Yin Ziyuan. Oh, Director Yin, what brings you to me? Nothing of great urgency. Merely that I have heard of your return from abroad. I happen to be in Yin capital for some matters and wish to pay a visit. Would it be convenient for you? Wang Tian was pleased by this approach. Ah, indeed, that sounds agreeable. My steward will contact you shortly. Excellent. I shall await your news. Goodbye. After hanging up, Yin Ziyuan felt a surge of anticipation. Who might this individual, who has taken Wang Ju's place, truly be? Would the conflict between Chen Xiao and the Wang family intensify, or perhaps ease? With numerous questions and expectations, he finally received a call from a steward. After confirming the meeting location, Yin Ziyuan personally selected a renowned Song Dynasty painting, instructing his staff to package it carefully, and then made his way to the appointed venue. Shortly after his arrival, news reached Chen Xiao. What? Yin Ziyuan is meeting Wang Tian? Chen Xiao exclaimed in surprise. Yes, boss. He has just arrived at the meeting spot. And Zhong replied. Understood. After ending the call, Chen Xiao's expression darkened. Initially, he only intended to secure his rightful earnings without overstepping. However, with Yin Ziyuan proactively approaching the Wang family, his intentions were unmistakable. Having chosen the path of enmity, there was no room for hesitation. Su Tang, at your service. Accelerate the sale of our assets. Even if it incurs some losses, I want the stock price of Atlantic Capital Group to plummet. Understood. Furthermore, I shall procure shares of the Atlantic Capital Group from all available financing companies and continue to sell and short them. Su Tang, understood, boss. Well, I shall attend to it. Very well. After Su Tang departed, Chen Xiao pondered for a moment before calling Yin Bingqin. Hello, you heartless little one. You've been calling your sister rather frequently lately. Chen Xiao, I have serious matters to discuss. Yin Bingqin rolled her eyes, as if implying that such a statement was absurd. Chen Xiao, finding no other recourse, spoke directly. I have severed ties with your father. Huh? Yin Bingqin was taken aback. How did that happen? He has allied himself with the Wang family, and I wish to inquire about your stance. What? Yin Ziyuan has allied with the Wang family? Yes. Yin Bingqin was genuinely taken aback by this revelation. It meant she was compelled to make a true choice between her biological father and her lover, despite being estranged from the former and having no connection with the latter. No matter her decision, it would inevitably pit one against the other. A simple statement from Chen Xiao stirred tumultuous waves within Yin Bingqin's heart. After posing his question, he remained silent, listening to the stillness on the other end. Even if Yin Bingqin chose Yin Ziyuan, he would not be surprised. After all, blood ties are not easily severed. Chen Xiao, will you drive him to his demise? Chen Xiao chuckled lightly. No, but I cannot assure you that the Atlantic Capital Group will continue to exist in the future. After a moment of silence, a multitude of memories flashed through Yin Bingqin's mind. Her mother supporting her father through hardship and later being abandoned after a success, ultimately succumbing to despair. The resentment buried deep within her heart remained undiminished after 20 years. Had Yin Ziyuan not been her biological father, she felt certain she would have demanded a life for a life. Her inquiry regarding Chen Zhao's intentions stemmed from her mother's dying wish, imploring her not to harbor hatred towards Yin Ziyuan, indicating that her mother still held feelings for him. Very well, I have made my decision. I stand by your side. Chen Xiao smiled slightly, recognizing the inner turmoil Yin Bingqin had undoubtedly endured in those brief moments of contemplation. Such a carefully considered choice, while perhaps not absolute, was fundamentally sound. Then, please lend me the shares of Atlantic Capital Group that you hold. I shall bear your losses. Chen Zhao's track record in the financial markets was evident. His borrowing of shares indicated a strategy to short sell. If he was shorting, then the future prospects of Atlantic Capital Group did not bode well. Yin Bingqin sensed that even before the endeavor commenced, Yin Ziyuan had already lost. Then I shall return to Jining to complete the formalities for you. You're working hard, Chen Xiao remarked. A private jet will await you at Ice City International Airport tomorrow at 3 o'clock. Chapter 339. The advantages of aligning with the Wang family. Now that she had made her decision, Yin Bingqin felt a sense of ease. Thank you for arranging the private jet.